So hello everyone, welcome to Triaright. This is Pack 365. Myself Sujit. So in this session, we are going to learn what is generator that's available in our Python. So in the previous session, we are already completing with our iterator. So now we are going to see what is generator that's available in Python. So guys, generator is nothing but it is also a like as an iterator, means we are just try to run on a loop, or we can say that we are just try to achieve each and every value from a sequence, but in a different way. In the iterator we are going to achieve all the things from a sequence, but in this case of our generator we are achieving all the things from a function. Okay, so while we are discussing with function, now if we want to achieve something valued, we can print by the help of our print function, or we can use our return keyword to send the value from outside the function also. Okay, now we are just trying to see through an example so that you can get a clear picture on that. Okay, so generator is nothing but it is a function with yield keyword. Okay, whenever we are just trying to create function, at that time we are using the return keyword to send the controller outside the function. But in case of our generator, we are using the yield keyword. Okay, so now if I'm just trying to create a function that is called sample, and here I'm just trying to create a value that is called our a equal to 20. And if I want to print in a normal function, I can use this print a. Okay, still I am not call this function, so it will be not printing. Now if I'm just try to run this one, so here it will be printing a value equal to 20. Okay, now if I'm not using the print a, or we can say that if I don't want to print inside the function, then we can use our return keyword that is called our a. Okay, now if I'm just try to print, it will be not printing, because whenever we are using this return, it will be the controller send the controller outside the function where we are just try to call this function. Now if I'm just try to print the function call, so at that time here it will be give me the value which I am just try to send outside the function. Okay, so now we are just trying to see how it will be different from our generator. Okay, in generator we are not using the return, we are using the yield keyword. Okay, so here I'm just trying to create a variable that is called 20, and here I'm just trying to use the yield keyword equal to 10. Okay, so we know that in case of our generator, first we are just trying to make it as a generator. So here I'm using a object that is called our sample, or we can say that our function name. Now if I'm just try to run this one, here it will be not giving any output, because we are not printing that particular thing. Because in case of our ITR, if you want to print some value, we are using the dunder method next, means next we will be using for to print all the value from this generator object. Okay, so now if I'm just try to print this one, so here it will be tell that whatever the value we are just try to print inside the function. Okay, so in case of our return, we know that after return, if I'm writing any statement, it will be not executive. But in case of our generator, if I'm just try to updating the value equal to 10, then again if I'm using the yield equal to a, or we can say that if I'm just try to achieve, and after achieving, if I want to print outside the function also, it will be possible. But in case of our return, it will be not possible. Okay, now the next point, here we are using yield 2 time, but you are using yield n time also, there will be no issue. But if you are using n number of yield, but inside a function only one generator will be created. If you see, now if I'm just try to run this one, so only one object will be created, or we can say that generator object at that specific location. Means we can say that how many yield you can create, you don't need to worry about that, because in from one function we are only creating one generator object, means we are not using n number of generator object. Okay, so we can say that only one generator can be created for one function. Yield is responsible for creating a generator object. Okay, if I am not using this yield, okay, so guys just see, this is called our non-type object is not iterable. Okay, means without using our yield, it will be treated like a normal function only. If the function will be containing the yield, so guys just see here it will be give me none, because we are not printing or we are not doing anything. So you need to make sure that if you want to make it as a generator object, you need to compare with a yield keyword. Okay, so now we are just trying to see how the control flow will be going to work, means in the memory how it going to happen. Then only we are just try to write some theoretical points that's available. So here I'm using def sample. Okay, after using here I'm just trying to achieving a equal to 20, and so every time here we are using the variable name, but you can give the direct value also, there will be no issue. Okay, so based upon your user requirement also you can create. So here I'm just trying to use the yield equal to 420, or we can say that a. Again I'm just trying to use yield equal to 420. Okay, now here I'm just trying to use my generator followed by the function name sample, and here I'm just trying to use print next based on the variable name gen, or we can say that generator. Okay, now here we are using 3-time generator, or we can say that yield. So here I'm just trying to print 4 times, because after all the value are printed, if I'm just trying to run this one again, it will be give me a error that is called our stop iteration, because after all the value are printed, there will be no value left to print outside the function. So guys, just see here also we are using the stop iteration. Okay, so if you see here in our Python, if you are not giving any collection data type for our multiple value, then Python by default it will be taking as a tuple as a collection data type. That's why here it will be taking all the value in the form of our tuple. So now we are just trying to write all the theoretical points that's available in case of our generator. So first point, so generator is a special, okay, special type of iterator, created using with function with our yield keyword. Okay, yield instead of, okay, instead of return, because whenever we are discussing with our function, every time we are using our return as my value to outside the function, but in case of our generator we are using our yield keyword. Okay, then the next point, unlike normal function, in generator, okay, in generator pause execution, okay, pause execution when they reach yield, okay, when they reach yield, and resume from the same point on the next call. Okay, what is the point? I'm just trying to understand. So here it will be saying that whenever we are using this normal function, so here our yield will be stopped, because we are just trying to print. Okay, after the yield will be printing, again it will be resume from here, means the stop position also same and the resume position of same, means both are same as compared to each other. Okay, now the next, they are lazy iterable. Okay, they are lazy iterable, or we can say that iterator. Okay, now the next one will be very useful, means when we are using this, very useful for handling large data sets. Okay, so where we are using, while we are dealing with our large data set, we can use this type of generator. Okay, now in the interview, if they're going to ask what is the difference between our iterator and generator. So whenever we are using the generator, we are using two methods. One will be iter and one will be next. But in case of our generator, we are using only yield keyword. Okay, so the syntax will be same. We are every time we are just using the yield keyword, then it will be printing all the things based upon our use cases. Okay, so now we are just trying to write what is our yield keyword. Okay, so what is yield keyword? So this is a keyword. Okay, so this is a keyword in Python, which is used to return, the value without destroying, or we can say that without destroying the local variable, destroying the local value. Okay, local value in the previous, okay, in the previous execution. Means here it will be not stop the functionality that we are expecting, but here we can using how many times the yield keyword. So this is the main difference between our return and our yield. Okay, so this is all about our generator. Now I'm just trying to show you through an example how the generator will be going to useful as compared to our return keyword. Okay, suppose if my requirement will be I want to write a program to find a factor of a number. Okay, so how to find the factor of a number? But here we are using our yield keyword, not we are using our return. Okay, so for the factor, here we are using the number, and to store the value here you are using the variable name that is called fact, and initialize with the 1. If you are initialize with 0, means every time whenever we are just try to multiply with any number with 0, it will be give you the 0 as my output. That's why. So here I'm just try to create for element, because I'm just try to find the factor of a number, means till that number I need to get all the number, and I'm just try to multiply. So for element in our range of, okay, because I need to start from number plus 1, from 1 to from the number up to the number, then every time I'm just try to use fact equal to fact into element. Okay, after that here after using here I'm just try to use my fact. Okay, means I'm just try to send the outside of the function. Okay, so here I'm just try to create a object, and based on the function name that is called fact, and here I'm just try to initialize the number. Okay, so here while true, okay, while true I need to call this one. Okay, so here I'm just try to print next, because it is a generator we cannot use directly. So after that here I'm just try to take num equal to 5. Okay, so here I'm just try to use num equal to 5. So now I'm just try to take here. Now if I'm just try to run this one, so I'll just see here after it will be printing all the value, or we can say that 120, it will be stop iteration, means after that there will be no value here. If you see in case of our return also we are using this yield, so in the real time also it will be working like this way, or we can say that note, after getting all the generator object to see output, we can typecast into list or running loop into while loop. So here also we are using this. Okay, if you want to directly also you can use, but I'm just try to automate it, because in the test case also you need to find that particular thing. Okay, so this is all about our generator that's available in our Python. So thanks for watching Triaright.